For the first time in almost 20 years, Hanukkah and Christmas will be celebrated on the same day, bringing interfaith families together while highlighting America's religious heritage. Theologian Jonathan Morris and Rabbi Chaim Steinmetz join us now with their message. Good morning to you both. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I love saying both of them in the same sentence. And, seeing you together reminds me of the great and beautiful unity between Christians and Jews. So, Rabbi, with that in mind, what is your message for us this morning?
The message is really very, very simple, which is one that embraces everyone, which is it is important to have hope. It is important to have resilience. Really, the lesson of the Hanukkah candle, which was encapsulated by a great rabbi, the Baal Shem Tov, is that a little bit of light pushes away an enormous amount of darkness. And that's the message of Hanukkah, that a small group can overcome the odds against them and fight for their religion, that just one jar of oil can last for 8 days when it's supposed to last for one. You should never lose hope.
And isn't it interesting, Father, that that's the message of Christmas, too?
It is. The book of Galatians talks about in the fullness of time, God sent his son.
Yes.
And the fullness of time means when the right time had come. And it's interesting the way in which the right time, according to God, seems to be prepared for by human action. In other words, when we do our part, it gets ready for God's grace to enter into our lives. And that's the story of Christmas. In the fullness of time, God sent his son in the form of a baby, according to Christian belief, in the form of a baby, someone that we can accept and love no matter our weakness and no matter our difficulties. Who cannot hug and kiss a baby?
Yes.
In fact, I have some cookies that my 3-year-old made for you.
Thank you so much, really.
He washes his hands every once in a while.
Gift.
But I'll leave them here. But children are
yes.
We find God in them.
The most innocent form of humanity placed on earth to save us all.
That's right.
And Rabbi, you brought a very special menorah onto the set with you this morning, and I'd love for you to share the story of it with us.
So this actually belongs to my colleague, Rachel Krauss, and it was given to her by her late grandfather, Walter Krug. Now, Walter grew up in Frankfurt, Germany, and as a teen in 1938 was actually interred in a Nazi labor camp. He managed to escape, comes back to his mother. His mother says, "You better get out of here. They're going to be searching for you." He goes to Poland, goes all the way across the Soviet Union, comes to Shanghai. Someone there says, "Why don't you join the Flying Tigers?" And he ultimately begins flying for the American Air Force.
Wow.
1945, he goes back to Frankfurt. And actually, the family heirlooms had been hidden by a neighbor, a woman named Lydia, who wasn't Jewish. And it was Lydia who watched over them. And as many people have pointed out, this was a great, great danger to herself. And it shows you how people can come together despite being parts of different faiths. And so he comes. His mother, unfortunately, is gone. His mother had been murdered by the Nazis. But he comes, he takes this menorah, moves to the United States, and 4 generations of family have been lighting this menorah.
I just love that story so much that a woman of non-Jewish faith risked her life to hide that menorah from Nazi German officials. And it also speaks to you being on the same stage together, people of all different faiths coming together because it's just the right thing to do. And in that story, I'm also reminded, Jonathan, of Saint Maximilian. It's one of the saints that is featured on the Fox Nation show Saints, because he was a Polish priest who gave up his life in place of a Jewish man. He died at Auschwitz because the man had children. So he said, "Take me instead of him."
Yeah, in the end, there's one God, as the Jewish belief and Christian faith, of all of us. And while we're on this earth, we might call ourselves one thing or another. But in the end, we are children of God.
Yeah.
And that's the way he sees us, I believe. And Christmas and Hanukkah being celebrated together, what a great reminder to us.
Is it just me? I feel very hopeful right now. And it's a great feeling.
And it's not only that. There's this powerful connection between Christians and Jews, which we neglected for so long. We really neglected
Absolutely.
for far too long. And there's a recognition we share. Our Tanakh is shared as Christian scripture. And when we talk about the story of Christmas, I mean, you're using Jesus and Joseph and Mary, and I'm in my mind thinking the Hebrew names, Yehoshua and Yosef and Miriam, because there is this incredible connection.
Yes.
Jesus was a Jew, and Jesus was born in the Jewish homeland.
That's right.
And that's this enormous connection of history that we have with each other that we're finally rediscovering right now in America.
Yes, that's a wonderful connection and a bond that can never be broken. Jonathan, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Rabbi, Happy Hanukkah. Thank you for bringing that special menorah in the story with you. We love you both, and thank you for the cookies.
Oh, that was
Your
from
children
Andy,
are
my son Andy
wonderful.
and Timmy, who are up waiting for me to get back to open their
And a
gifts. right now.
talented baker, so head on home, be
Thank
with
you.
them. God bless you both.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.